Hey kindergarten, it's Mrs. Griffith, and we're going to do a writing lesson today. And if you have not watched the video on YouTube on my Mrs. Griffith kindergarten channel about Harry the Dirty Dog, where I read this story to you, Harry the Dirty Dog by Jean Zion, I need you to watch it before you do this lesson, okay? If you've already watched it, then you're good to go. You could always watch it again, just to refresh your memory a little bit. But today we're going to be talking about Harry the Dirty Dog. And we, at school together, we talked about I Am America. We read this book by Charles R. Smith. And we looked at his bold beginning, where he used this I am statement. And we looked at the mighty middle, where he organized his book. And he did that in the way that kids looked, and the kind of clothes that they wore, and the kind of music that they liked, and the kind of food that they liked to eat. And then we were about to talk about the excellent ending of this story, and school was canceled. So we never did get to talk about the excellent ending of I Am America. But I want to point out to you, and we've read it a couple times, that at the end of that story, Charles R. Smith used his statement again. I am America, and America is me. So he wrapped up his book. And authors, writers of stories, want to find a way to wrap up their story to make an excellent ending. So today, we're going to talk about the story, Harry the Dirty Dog. And I have up here, I have a graphic organizer, and that's a way to use pictures and words to organize information. And this graphic organizer has a place for you to write your name at the top, of course. And then it has the words beginning, middle, and end, okay? And there's a box for the beginning, there's a box for the middle, and there's a box for the end. And then there are some writing spaces below. Now the graphic organizer that you will use looks like this, okay? Smaller than mine. I just tried to draw it up here so we could look at it together. Okay, so I want to go back to the story, Harry the Dirty Dog, and I want you to think about what happens in the beginning of this story, okay? Who are the characters at the beginning of the story, and where is the setting, and what is going on? So if we think back to the beginning of Harry the Dirty Dog, we learn that Harry is a white dog with black spots, and he hates taking a bath. So what does he do? He runs away from home. And that is the most important event, the most important thing that happens in the beginning of this story. So on my graphic organizer, under beginning, I am going to draw, quick sketch for me, a picture of Harry running away from home. So here he comes, he's coming down the steps. He's got that little pointy nose, he's got a little tail. And remember, Mrs. Griffith is not a professional artist like Mr. Ferguson. And he's got some spots. And here's the door up here. And Harry is saying, I do not want to take a bath. And he is heading down the stairs, and he's going to run away from home. Okay? So that is my quick sketch. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it right now, putting all the juicy details and the color in. Just going to do a quick sketch to get me started. Then I'm going to write a sentence down below that tells what's happening in that picture. So what was the most important event in the beginning of this story? Harry ran away from home. So let's write that sentence here. Harry, and the Y is making the E sound in that word. Harry ran ran away from, oh, that's a high frequency word, I believe, home. Home is one of those words where the silent E on the end of the word is bossy, and it says, oh, you say your name. Harry ran away from home. That's what happened in the beginning of this story. Now we're going to move to the mighty middle. So I want you to think about this story, Harry the Dirty Dog. Now, here's the thing about the middle of the story. There are a lot of things that happened. He buried a bone in the backyard. He went downtown, it looks like. He went and played in the construction zone. He went over the bridge. So he did a whole lot of things. But we don't have room here to put all of those things in. So I have to use my brain and think, well, how could I say that in one sentence or maybe two sentences if I needed to? So what I'm going to think about is he went all over the neighborhood and he played. He did all sorts of fun activities in the neighborhood. And he turned into a black dog with white spots, right? Because he got so dirty. So maybe I'm just going to choose one of those activities that he did. Here's the bridge. I think the train is coming along. Here's the train stack coming along here. And again, I'm just going to do a quick sketch and all the smoke's coming up. And here's Harry. There's that little pointy nose and his two little ears and his two little legs, his little tail. He's up there on the bridge. And he gets so dirty from all this activity that he kind of turns into a black dog. He looks like a black dog with white spots. Okay. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. So there's the train coming along the tracks. And here's the smoke going up. And there's Harry up there on the bridge. So in the mighty middle, Harry plays in his neighborhood. Now, neighborhood is a really funny word. It has all sorts of letters that are silent. Neighborhood. Okay, Harry plays in his neighborhood. That's what happens in the middle of that story. So now at the end of the story, very, very end, what happens? Harry decides to come back home, right? He comes back home, he takes a bath, and his family welcomes him back. They're happy to see him back home. They recognize him. So at the very end, we can show the bathtub. And here's Harry in the bathtub. Looks like a giraffe, but that's okay. Mrs. G does her best. Here he is in the bathtub, and there's got some soap bubbles coming up, maybe. And we've got the little girl over here. And we've got the little boy over here. and they're giving Harry his bath. So, at the very end of the story, Harry comes home. It's hard to write from this side, kindergarten. Harry comes home, and his family gives him a bath, and they recognize him, and he's back home with them. All right, so for your writing assignment, you're going to use your own graphic organizer, and I want you to draw your own picture to show me what happens in the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle of the story, and what happens at the end of the story. And then you're going to write a sentence. What happens at the beginning, what happens in the middle, what happens at the end, okay? If you need to do some writing on the back, you can. Parents at school, these are 11 by 17. They're bigger, so there's not a lot of space on here. So if your child needs to turn it over, they may. This is 8.5 by 11, right? But at school, I usually have them printed out 11 by 17. So this is a little smaller. I've included an alphabet chart for you to use, kindergarten, if you need to have a reference for the sounds that the letter makes. This is different than the ones we have at school, but I like this one because it has Danielian letters. So if you're writing a word and it starts with the sound, or you hear the sound in the word and you can't remember what letter makes that sound, you can look on this chart, see the picture of the fish, and you'll know that the F makes that sound. And it shows you the capital letter and the lowercase letter. You're going to be sounding out the words. You're going to be stretching out the words as you are writing them, or before you are getting ready to write them. Listen to the sounds that you hear in the word. So if you want to write the word home, you're going to stretch it out. Home. Home. What sounds do you hear in that word? And you're going to write down the sounds that you hear. Your mom and dad are not going to spell all the words for you. Okay, I want you to use your guess and go writing, which you know how to do. You can use your high frequency word sheets though. If you have those at home, or high frequency cards, you can use those to write your high frequency words. That is just fine, okay? So those are there for you to use as well. All right, mom and dad are gonna send this to me on Friday. I'm going to look at it, kindergarten. So I'm gonna be looking at your handwriting, how neatly it's done. Now I did quick sketches here, but you will be able to take your time and do your very best work and add 5 beautiful colors on those pictures. And then you're going to do your writing below. Okay? Can't wait to read them. Bye, kindergarten.